Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to another episode of Talkin' Top Tier. I am your host, always doing the most. I am Tone the Boss. This week and every week, we have a very, very, very special guest. I'm super excited to have this conversation with this guy because our paths, we've circled each other all across America. I believe born in Chicago, right?
Correct. Yep.
I'm also born in Chicago. One of the biggest, most pivotal years in my music career was 2011 when we, as Big Bang, moved to Atlanta, where we saw the rise from Titty Boy to 2 Chainz. When we were in the club with T.I. and OJ the Juice Man, this man was right here. When we were riding on the coattails of Travis Porter, this is the guy that was building their websites, that was doing their marketing, that was setting up the distribution for DJs and instrumentals, acapellas. Ladies and gentlemen, please make some noise for the Dawebmaster, Joe. Let's go.
It. Happy to be here, Tone.
I'm happy to have you, Joe. I wish my boy Chuck was here. He's like way more well-versed. He's the one that convinced us all to move to Atlanta in 2011.
Okay.
But we were definitely trying to follow in the footsteps of artists like Travis Porter. We were definitely in the clubs with DJ Greg Street. We were on the radio. We were putting in work in 2011. We did a little bit of everything on the artists on the rise side.
Okay.
And you did the important part for those artists to make sure they were on the rise.
Correct.
You know, real quick, a couple of the names, because I know how people don't like to name drop. I love name dropping, especially on this podcast.
Okay.
It's the only way we're going to grow out of little old Iowa. You've worked with 2 Chainz.
Correct.
Bankroll Fresh.
Yes, sir.
Young Dolph.
Yes, sir.
Travis Porter.
Oh, yeah.
Cap One.
Yes, sir.
Schoolie.
Yep.
DJ Esud.
Yep.
Worked closely with DJ Techniques, right?
That's correct. He's one of the owners of Street Execs. I worked with Street Execs. I was, technically, you would say an employee at Street Execs. So, yep.
That's crazy. And then you knew our boy Charlie. Only a few people is going to know that name. Like I said, shout out to Chuck. Shout out to Dom. Make sure they get this interview, get in contact with you so we can just reminisce, really, because Atlanta is literally a pivotal point in my life, one of my favorite times as an artist. We went out Monday through Saturday and really would have went out Sunday if they served liquor. I don't know if they do now, but they didn't serve liquor on Sundays, so the clubs were closed back then. Do you remember that? Were you not a drinker?
I was a drinker, but the thing is, like, working with those artists and pretty much being there, like, my office was in the studio at Street Exec Studios, and at Street Execs before they even had the studio, we had an office there. And basically, we would only go out when the artist was paid to go out. So if the artist wasn't paid, we're not going out.
Okay. You're in the studio working. It sounded like Charlie ran a tight ship there.
Oh, he definitely did, man. So we basically kind of cornered the industry because we created a distribution website, which is DJServicePack.com. Like, a lot of people in Atlanta would know, like DJ Drama would call us to get put on the website. DJ Scream, like, all these people would call us if they needed to be put on the website. DJ Infamous was somebody as well. Like, I don't know if you remember back in the day, like DJ Infamous tried to do the DJ Khaled situation.
Yeah, I absolutely remember that, which is crazy. And Drama did a drop for y'all, didn't he?
Yeah, he did that for the SpitYourGame.com website. So, yeah, we got a drop from him, but he was also, promoting his artists through the DJ Service Pack website. We have billboards throughout Atlanta as well.
Yeah. And, so the Dawebmaster, Joe, that's what they call it, the Dawebmaster.
The Dawebmaster, yeah.
But you were more than just a webmaster. And from a fellow webmaster, I went to school and I actually have my degree in computer science. I went to school because at age 13, 14, I learned how to build a website for my brand or for our group, Big Bang. And we used Yahoo Site Builder back then. And then
GeoCities. I messed with it too. I started on GeoCities.
You probably was doing the MySpace code too. You had the dopest MySpace pages.
And I was selling them too back in the day. I always been making some money through websites, man.
Yeah. So you're probably familiar with the websites that we would get on because of our networking. And again, shout out to Chuck, but we were on allhiphop.com every week.
Yep.
Hotnewhiphop.com.
Hip hop since 1987.
Hey, shout out
to buy
them.
We try to buy them. That's a whole little situation. situation.
Oh my God.
Yes.
We got to go back from the beginning.
All right,
Don't jump in any situations yet. I'm just trying to like find out what else like you haven't told, because like when we connected and you started saying these names like DJ Techniques and DJ Esud, and like I have stories with these people, and when I tell you like I watched 2 Chainz rise when he was Titty Boy transformed to 2 Chainz, and you're like, yeah, the codeine cowboy mixtape.
Yeah.
I'm like, God damn, bro, I was there for that release, and we're naming songs like Spend It before T.I. was on it.
Right.
We're naming songs like My Boo, or I Just Call Her Boo.
Yeah. And that's what I was trying to tell you when we were trying to release a single for that. Like, that's how the whole DJ Service Pack website ended up coming to be, because another website, I don't know if you want me to drop the name, but basically, so greenhits.com, they wanted to charge 2 Chainz to drop a release on their website back then. And Charlie, which is was one of the owners of Street Execs at the time, he's no longer an owner. We could get into that later. Basically, they were trying to charge him to put 2 Chainz on their website, which would give like the clean version, dirty version, the instrumental, and acapella and all that. So we ended up making a competing website with them, which was DJ Service Pack, and we ended up just blowing them out the water as far as hits to the actual website. And which is what's crazy about that is, I don't know if you remember back in the day, like if Twitter got too much traffic, like they would, like this page would come up telling you to try again later or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like a well or whatever. So we had to create one of those, because we also dropped the official release of No Lie on DJServicePack.com. And it just went crazy. All the DJs knew about the website. Like I said, we have billboards throughout Atlanta. Like, it was going crazy. Like, we're able to charge artists to post on the website anywhere from like $1,000 to $5,000 for takeovers. That's what a takeover is, something you would call when you're getting the background, like the banner on the top, the single and all that. So, you know, we easily could clear 30 to 40K a month on just charging artists to be on that website. And that was something that was owned by the Street Execs as well.
Nice.
And I basically built that from scratch. Like, I just thought it was a crazy idea. And Charlie told me, like, he didn't tell me the story of why he wanted to do it. He just told me what he wanted to do. And I'm like, I'm not really feeling that. I'm like, because I feel like we're kind of pirating music. He's like, no, but you don't understand. It's something for DJs, and the DJs need it or whatever. He's right. I didn't understand it at the time.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about you and what you've accomplished. So I lived in Atlanta as an artist, but I came back to Iowa, and we started Iowa Summer Jam based off of what we learned from Atlanta.
Okay.
And that led to me starting this company, and this company started the Iowa Music Awards. But one big thing, at some point I became a DJ, and I used to get my music off DJ Service Pack. Y'all provided the clean, the acapella, the instrumental, and of course the dirty version.
Right. And
DJServicePack.com was my go-to. But also, again, I just have to introduce you to Chuck, but he does the he'd be on top of not only making sure we had those versions, and shout out to our producer and engineer, Tony T, but he would be on these sites and making sure our music, Big Bang, is a part of that and being found on each one of those types of websites. So Green Hits, DJ Service Pack, fucking there was a video site, E-Bombs World, that, you know, we had like a 250,000 views on. Like, but he'd submit to everything to the point that we got connected with everybody. And I think at some point, you may not remember, but we definitely sent you one of the sites that you operated out of. We sent you some music.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't the one that handled like the submissions and all that. Like, I'm more of the person that built it. I keep it running, keep the features going, you know, making it easier for the people to download the music. As far as like the uploads and working it out, we had somebody, Rashad Glover, shout out to him.
Shout out Rashad.
But he was the one that was basically, you know, doing all the sales, I would say, you know, as far as interacting with the artists and seeing who's going to be on the site and whatnot.
So talk to me. Let's start from the beginning, and then we'll see how you got connected. The biggest part of my podcast is showing everybody that literally everybody comes from humble beginnings.
Yeah. So it all started basically back in, I would say, 2008. Charlie had SpitYourGame.com, and basically the way that website started is it's like a artist profile type of website, something like SoundClick or SoundCloud. And he was basically Soulja Boy's cameraman. And he would upload the exclusive clips from Soulja Boy's first tour on this website in order to get all the traffic.
Wait a minute. Charlie, Travis Porter's manager, Charlie.
Yes.
He started out as Soulja Boy's cameraman.
Yes, and then when the Kiss Me Through the Phone, he's in that video.
Get out.
As the cameraman, bro.
Get out.
That's where he started. But then when Soulja Boy was going to go on tour again, basically he fired Charlie and DJ Southern Bread.
DJ Southern Bread, that's familiar.
Yeah, so his drop is he got a pretty unique drop, and he was a big DJ in the South back then.
Okay.
And that's why Soulja Boy wanted him, because he was kind of popping back in the day.
Yep.
And basically him and Charlie, you know, they were going on this campaign like fuck SoundClick. And I don't know if I could curse on here or whatever, but
you good.
Right. Yeah, so they were going on a campaign where, you know, they didn't mess with SoundClick or whatever. And back in the day in 2008, there was still forums where you can go on these forums and upload
used to love forums. You remember the Ning sites?
Yeah.
Those were my shit, bro.
Yeah, so there was a forum where I was able to upload my work because I was like a graphic designer, but I also built websites. I did a lot of stuff. Like low-key, back in the day, I wanted to be an artist. And I didn't have no money. I was like in 3rd, 4th grade, right? So I was like, I got to find a way to promote this. So I started doing graphics and I started building websites. And people like my websites and my graphics. Yeah. So I kind of went in that lane where people kind of like my work. Yep. So
dude, our paths are so similar. I feel like everybody starts as I want to be an artist. And then you find something you're good at. Like all I wanted to do was be an artist. And then I had to learn how to write business plans, build websites, do graphic designs, be a promoter, be a booking agent, to the point that I think I quit doing music for about 7 years.
Okay.
And I just helped other people because I learned so much from when I was doing music. So I think it was like 2014, 2013 until 2020. I had stopped being a recording artist, and then I ended up starting my company, T1 Entertainment, a few years in that because I just knew too much.
Right.
And I don't want that information to go to waste. I want to help people. I want to let people benefit off of my experiences, both the good and the bad. Like, you don't need to go through the bad. I already went through that. You don't want to go that way. So that's why I've, transitioned from just being an artist to at one point just being a manager or CEO. And now I've found a way to balance both of those.
Basically, you're right. We are super similar in that aspect. And but just to go back to the beginning, basically in those forums, I was uploading my graphics, and Charlie, he's the owner of the website. He's seen my graphics, me like, uploading them to the forum. He's like, oh, you did these graphics? I'm like, yeah. And basically he wanted me to work on the spityourgame.com website. And at this time he was managing 2 girls called the Vistoso Bosses. And Mr. Colleague Park wanted to kind of sign them. And then Sierra's manager ended up taking them from Charlie. So Charlie was no longer their manager.
Sierra's manager, that's not Jazzy Faye, was it, back then?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
I don't remember the guy's name off the top.
Her, but I felt like they were pretty close.
Yeah, I can't remember his name off the top, but it was just like this situation where Charlie was in limbo, and now I'm basically full-time running the spityourgame.com website. I'm redesigning it. I'm integrating the platform because it was on this open. It's now open source. Back then it wasn't. You had to pay for it. But I was integrating the 2 softwares where it's a forum and it's the website. And if you sign up for one, it connects to both. Back in the day, it was a situation versus how it is now. Things are a lot easier now. But I don't want to get too technical into like the nerdy part of things. But basically, I took over that full time.
And just to warn you, I'm a nerd. So like I might understand this. Our audience may not. But the people that do understand it are going to appreciate it. So I know that you do more than just, you're not just building a Ning or a MySpace.
And
it's not just your standard
things.
It's not a WordPress template that we start with like some type of template or even a blank one, but all the PHP, the CMS, the extra HTML coding, like you're the type of guy that's doing all that, even JavaScript, right?
I can't just use a template because to me that's too limited. Like with anything I build, I'm pretty much liking to start from scratch. Even using WordPress, I would still start kind of blank and then build out even like the menu. Something as simple as the menu at the top is not going to be a drag and drop situation with me. But I don't want to bore the audience getting into the nerdy stuff, but SpitYourGame.com, we had like Travis Porter had this series called like Past the Shades back in the day. It was a YouTube series. Also, we had J Money on there. That was an artist back in the day. We had Yola the Great. He was on there. That's kind of back in the day. I don't know if we can like drop like little snippets as I say their names, and that way, you know, people can kind of.
I'll add them in post.
Yeah. So with Spit Your Game, like there was a whole bunch of artists that would like kind of come through, and then, you know, I'm doing the back end, and mind you, I'm in Chicago and Charlie's in Atlanta, but we're still like working together because I'm doing all the development for him at this point. And he eventually landed on an artist called Hard Hitters, which is Travis. They ended up changing their name to Travis Porter. This is after the Vistoso bosses. So at this point, I'm building Travis Porter's website, but mind you, Travis Porter's, they're nobody at this point. They're just artists on the rise, you know? Yep. So as I'm building these websites, we're also, you know, masterminding campaigns. You know, how are we going to blow these artists up? Like, what are we going to do? Like, coming up with these different campaigns.
Right. And you said they were artists on the rise. Were they getting like label offers, or were they?
Not at this time.
Okay.
This is early. This is super early. Like, Charlie just got them. Like, he had them change their name. Like, this is so early in the game.
Damn, okay.
They had a song called Waffle House. He wanted me to build.
Meet me at the Waffle House. Got the sausage biscuits. Yeah.
Yeah. He wanted me to make a website where they're able to customize a sausage biscuit on the website or whatever. Like, we were doing silly stuff, like just really trying to run marketing campaigns around these songs. So, like, there was a lot of different things we tried super early. And basically, as we're running these different campaigns, you know, I'm still in Chicago. I'm running all these back end things, and Charlie's in Atlanta doing the footwork, you know, going to these radio stations, you know, getting to these DJs to play the music or whatever. So it's still early on. And eventually, as they started getting like label offers, we ended up coming up with another campaign. And that was just kind of making the offers seem bigger, and like if it was from more companies as well. So like that was just another tactic that we used to create hype.
It's genius.
Yeah.
I don't know how I haven't done this yet. Like this is like, but you put it out there, and you were familiar with SEO like
correct.
Before it was like a common phrase. Like now I feel like SEO is a household phrase.
Correct.
But back then you knew what you were doing by trying to be at the top of #1 in Google and adding keywords and making sure it's getting the right amount of hits.
Yes, that's correct. So like Charlie was like a drill sergeant. Like when he wanted something done, like, you know, mind you, I'm getting paid for this. So it's not like I'm just not getting paid at this point. In this part, I'm now getting paid. At the beginning stages with the SpitYourGame.com, I wasn't. But as Travis Porter's, you know, getting traction, Charlie's getting his cut. You know, I'm getting paid off of it. Oh, can I do this? Can I do that? And basically, I'm able to get Travis Porter ranked. I'm able to get their videos ranked. And it's just a lot of different little things behind the scenes that I'm able to do, you know, for these artists.
And I feel like people don't really appreciate that. They don't think about what goes into making an artist blow. Because at this time, Street Exec isn't a major label. It's not picked up by Aftermath or Sony or Universal. It's from the ground up.
Yeah, and honestly, even as the years went on, like a lot of companies, even when after 2 Chainz was signed, labels low-key kind of didn't like Street Execs because they would blow an artist before they got to the label, and then they would, you know, hit the label over the head. So it was a different situation than like a QC or something where they're taking the artist directly to the label before they blow. It wasn't like that. They were going to labels with artists that already had #1 records.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not an artist development. They're developed. Make us a reasonable offer that makes sense.
Exactly. So that's how 2 Chainz was able to, you know, get his publishing. So he gets all his publishing after 5 years after he drops a song.
Nice.
So it's like a lot of little tactics like that where they have these negotiations, you know. One thing that was the downfall of Travis Porter is that they signed to RCA, which ended up getting Jive Records that ended up getting ate up by RCA. So they were no longer like a priority. and they were still able to put their songs in commercials and stuff and make money off of them without having to do anything with them. That was one of their biggest downfalls, and that's why they low-key fell off. And like a label never considered Travis Porter as not a success because they were still able to monetize their music. Their songs were in like commercials as long as like a couple years ago.
Damn, really?
Yeah, like these car commercials or whatever. Like they'll have like the Bring It Back song in these commercials.
Yeah, what?
But the thing is, like, you know, so the label's still making money off these artists, but they just never released a second album because they didn't have to. Once Jive Records got bought up, they didn't care no more. Like they could just like, you know, sell the license to this song, sell the licenses, eat off it forever.
That's wild because that's kind of where I'm at with my career now. Like, you know, I had a song that was used by the NBA and the NFL, and that opened my eyes to sync placements. Also, as you get older, it's like I'm not really making music for the young people in the club anymore. I'm using the terminology that I'm comfortable with, that I'm familiar with. So it makes me not want to like try to make just the latest twerk song or this, that. Like, I just want to make the music that I would like and that my peers would like. So I've gotten a sync placement where it is they're telling me exactly the song they want to have made and the verbiage that they want used. And that's paid me way more than any like record that I just did because I felt like we need a club song or we need a sad song or a love song. Like now I make music either with a purpose for sync placements or anthems, or I make music that I just want to make. It's about what I want to do now. So I'm not mad at them for only dropping the one album. I'm like that actually, I'm happy to hear that, you know, they found that side of the music too, where like you said, they're in car commercials and, you know, they're getting checks for their songs other ways and didn't feel the need to drop another album.
Well, it wasn't that they didn't feel the need because it was just more the label didn't give them the budget no more because the label was able to monetize more off of their music. Let's getting back into the story, you know, at the beginning of it, you know, we were creating these different campaigns, and one of the campaigns, they went out to a party with Diddy. And I'll never forget it. So, oh, whoa,
not
you're right.
Diddy.
You're right.
Shit.
Right.
He's gonna be like, cut that later.
Nah. So, you know, Diddy wanted to take Travis Porter out or whatever because he wanted to sign them. But Charlie knew that they weren't gonna sign to Diddy. They just did it as like you know, like you're gonna take meetings, you know, from certain people just to kind of
like, hey, Jay-Z's gonna offer a 360 deal. I'm gonna go to the meeting because it's Jay-Z. I don't want the 360 deal.
Exactly. So you're just kind of exactly. So that was that kind of situation. They already knew they weren't going to sign. But when they went out to the club that night, they ended up getting pictures shot or whatever. So then now Charlie called me. As soon as like Travis Porter went out, Charlie went back to his room. He called me. He's like, look, he's like, I need us to create a campaign where, you know, make a graphic that shows that, make a graphic with Travis Porter saying Young Money wants to sign them, and we'll write up a little mock-up. And he's like, and we're going to do that for, you know, pretty much like 6 more labels that were hot at the time. Like they want to sign Travis Porter. They want to sign Travis Porter.
Nice. That is genius.
So then now it creates this bidding war, right? So now when you go sit down with a label, it looks like all these other labels want to sign with them too. Because now it's just this facade of like everybody wants to sign these people because they're the hottest group out at this time now.
What's crazy is like you're so good at web design. If you guys watch and go to tonetheboss.com, it goes right to a landing page that you made for me that looks absolutely amazing. And
that was some slight that I just kind of put together.
Something slight for you, but I've built over at least 50 different websites in my years, and none of them look as good as that one landing page that
Appreciate
you made.
it, man.
So when you make a post or a page that says Bad Boy is trying to sign Travis Porter, I know how legit that probably looks. Like you might have got a call or a cease and desist because of how legit that looks.
Oh man, with all the different websites, bro, I got so many cease and desists by all the big major labels you can think of.
Get out. I was just saying some shit. That really happened?
It really happened because remember after the Spit Your Game, we ended up doing this DJ Service Pack website that competed with Green Hits. But see, the way we got around a lot of the cease and desist is we wouldn't host the music on the website. They would link to another server that we had off in like Russia.
Oh, this guy, you dropping all the gems. So hold on, you got a cease and desist for
like
DJ Service Pack?
yeah. So like we would get them from like different labels. So like Atlantic Records, we got a cease and desist from. Universal Records, we got a cease and desist from. Like Def Jam, there's so many different people we got cease and desist from, and our hosting's hitting us up with the cease and desist. Like they want us to take you down.
What?
Yes,
Like the actual hosting company?
the hosting company. I
don't know if you know, but I worked at GoDaddy for 10 years, bro. So like when you talk about cease and desist, like DDoS attacks, like all that stuff, I'm very familiar. That stuff excites me. So you dealt with all of that.
All the labels, bro. But
from labels, from the big boys.
The big boys, they wanted us down. But mind you, only like DJs that are on foot in Atlanta and artists, they know that street execs are the ones behind DJ Service Pack. Nice. A lot of other people that are like, you know, not in tune to what's going on in the streets, they didn't know. It just looked like another DJ website type of thing.
Crazy.
But all the big dogs knew, like DJ Drama knew, Infamous, Scream. Yep. All of them knew who owned it. And yeah, so we would have to deal with like switching hosts, and mind you, with like something like a WordPress or a site like that where you're able to back it up, download it, move it to another hosting. It's like it never went anywhere.
Right. So
that was something that that happened after the Spit Your Game. So at this point, Travis Porter, they already blew. They already had like Make It Rain, Bring It Back. They already had these songs when the DJ Service Pack was being built. And when the DJ Service Pack was being built, this is when Street Execs is now bringing in 2 Chainz. They want to manage him. So now our job is to, how can we blow up 2 Chainz? And mind you, I've only done the digital side of things. And Charlie came to me, you know, let's start this DJ website. They're trying to charge us to do this. We can make the biggest. Like one of his things is he could make it something feel like it's so important. You know, that was one of his greatest. That's one of his greatest qualities. And I'm like, all right, you know, whatever. We ended up doing the website, and that website, you know, no lie from 2 Chainz, that was where it premiered at, and it crashed the website, bro. Crashed it, and that's when I had to learn about, you know, allocating the resources, and you know, like I told you with the Twitter,
you had to learn about Cloudflare and all that extra shit.
Yes,
making a backup error page, and too much traffic coming to the site.
Yes, we had a problem where we had to start buying dedicated servers instead of like a VPN. Like
they're so expensive.
Yes. Bro, we would spend on hosting. At one point, it went to like $2 or $3 grand a month just on hosting because the traffic was ridiculous. Like it got to that point, but we're also generating money from artists where it could go from like 30 to 40K a month as well.
Per artist or like all?
No,
together?
Just in general, the website in general. Like
like from artist signups, or like explain that, elaborate a little bit.
Yeah, so the website was completely free.
Okay.
So we would run ads on the website like Google ads.
Okay.
And then we would also, we started to implement like an affiliate marketing. So if somebody, like one time somebody bought a DJ turntable set and we ended up making like $500 off of that.
Nice.
And then somebody go buys a mic at like Guitar Center, we'll make money off of that.
Nice.
But so it was just a avenue of these different things, as well as artists paying for placements on the website. That was the biggest revenue generator. You know, these artists, you got to think, these artists are like, I want to be on this website because I want to be promoted in next to Street Execs. Because what we would do is, a big selling point is bring them to Street Exec Studios and shit. They get to see the wall with 2 Chainz and all this.
Would have did that.
Yeah, so you know, once they see this, they're like, oh, we in here, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Basically. And what's crazy is something I learned later. Is like, it's a game of who you know, not really what you know.
Yeah.
So like giving that experience where they could go through the studio, they could shake hands with Techniques or Charlie or you know, whoever's in the studio that day. Yeah, that's genius.
And so once you did that, bro, people are willing to pay whatever. I want to be on the website. I want to get a campaign by Street Execs. Like, and mind you, if Street Execs is running a campaign for you, they're basically running you through this website. So, because the website already had a lot of traffic and people are going there to get the instrumentals, the clean, the dirty. You know, it's a DJ website. And these are the people you want to shake hands with anyways. So, you know, if we got big names on there, like we got DJ Drama on there downloading, DJ Scream, DJ Infamous, like.
And they're going to tell the people that's around them, the people they're training, people they're affiliated with.
And it was just something. It was just another thing that we did to generate funds and also make money, you know, on artists and running campaigns. At one point, we did start something called branding execs. And what we would do is we would bring artists in for consultations in the Studio A at Street Exec Studios, right? We would bring an artist in and they would play a couple songs for us. And then we would basically set up a campaign for them where it's like, see how far along they are. Like, do you have a logo made? You know, how does your branding look? Like, do you have a website? You know, do you have artwork for your single, your album? You know, are you able to get on all the platforms? Because mind you, back then it wasn't as out there on how easy it is to get on a distro. Right. So, you know, we're running through a checklist. Like, we created this checklist, and then like we can help artists with all these things, and then we would just, you know, basically tell them a package, how much it's going to cost them and stuff like that. So it was just, so as we're doing this, we also have artists that we're doing it for that's under Street Execs.
Yep.
So as this is happening, there's also like my regular like Street Execs job. Like, so with that, I would, you know, be working with artists like Bankroll Fresh. I do stuff for Schoolie, Cap One, like, and this is whenever they drop. Whenever they drop, they're getting a brand new website. They're getting brand new artwork for everything on all their platforms. They're getting promo. They're getting like promo packages. So like that's gonna go on all the social media. Like Instagram might be a different, like the same graphic but different sizes, and like the whole package on all the platforms.
Nice, that's genius.
So it's about creating this bigger than life feel.
Yep.
And that's one of the things that, you know, me coming here to Iowa, you know, after I left Atlanta, I came to Iowa. It's just more family oriented here. I didn't want to go back to Chicago because Chicago got crazy.
Yeah, Chicago was wild.
And I didn't want to raise kids there. So my girl's like, well, she's like, I grew up in Iowa City. Let's go to Iowa. I was like, I don't even know what Iowa is, but let's try it. Yeah, I'm like, let's try it. Like,
what's
whatever.
wild is like people try to shit on Iowa for like not having anything, but when you come from a place like Chicago, like we do, it's a nice change of pace. Like, we don't need to rush to be in the drama, to be in front of some bullshit. We don't need, like, we live through that. We see that every day where that becomes the norm. Yeah. When you get to Iowa and shit's boring, you welcome that.
Exactly. Because mind you, so throughout this process, you know, I was in Chicago. Then at a certain point, I would say about 2013, 13-ish, the end of it, I ended up getting moved to Atlanta. So Street Execs is like, all right, enough's enough of you being remote. Like, we want you here in our office, basically. And so they ended up sending this, what is it, like a U-box type of thing? It's like this box where you load all your furniture in there, all this stuff. They moved me out there. They got me a place to live. Like, it was a whole situation. Like, they spent some bread to get me out there, bro.
What?
Because mind you, I've already done all these things for them. So it's not like I'm just a random person they're moving out there.
But did you meet them a few times in the process? Yeah. Or like it was all remote and then eventually?
No, so I did meet them. So during the remote process, once or twice a year, Charlie would fly me out there, pay for everything. And then we would have these sessions where it would be like we go hard for like 3 days straight, and then like I'm able to meet everybody, you know, be with the team in person, and then I come back and do the remote work, then we do that again. And it was just like that. So like twice a year I would go to Atlanta, I would get flown out there, and then we would have these sessions where we're all there, and he would bring people. So one time there was this round table we did. Yeah. He brought DJ Infamous and Jay from World Star Hip Hop. Nice. Jay does a lot of the uploading still at World Star. Mm-hmm. So, you know, he brought these people. We would all talk about, like, you know, how to, you know, advance, basically how technology is advancing, and we would all bounce ideas off each other. I guess you would consider it a mastermind session.
Yep.
So when I would go out there, we would have these big old powwows, and I would explain to them like what I know, and then they would tell me what they know, and we're all learning from each other.
Yep.
You know, and there's this dude also, CEO Matty J. Dope dude, man. I learned a lot from him about as far as how the merch stuff works. He was going to help E Sud with the no stress, but that ended up falling through. But he ended up coming back to help, and he was kind of behind the marketing for the Dabbing Santa.
Okay.
So like he was a dope dude. A lot. He had a lot of information and a lot to learn from. He was part of like one of those sessions where it's kind of like a mastermind session or whatever.
Yep.
And he was early on the drop shipping. I'm talking about like 2013, 2014. He's drop shipping virgin hair from like early, super early. And the way I learned about white labeling was back then. 2 Chainz had this phone. It was called the Flex phone. It was like a real phone that you plugged into the phone jack of your like iPhone or whatever. And that was a white label from like, that was the first time I've ever heard of like white labeling products and stuff. And then it just kind of opened the game for me like from there.
Explain white labeling and I mean, we know drop shipping is not having it in stock, ordering it ahead of time, but explain the white labeling.
Yeah, so a white label is basically you would find a manufacturer for something that you want. So let's say a phone, right? You can white label a phone so you can go on, find a phone and a model you like, and then you can get it branded. So now instead of it being an iPhone, it could be the Tone phone. And basically all the phones would come prepackaged with the box that say the Tone phone with your logo and everything. And even when it starts up, it could say the Tone phone or whatever. That would be white labeling. But you can do that now for anything. It doesn't have to be a phone. It could be any product you could think of. And you could do it for headphones. You could drop your own headphone line. How you think like companies like Raycon and all them ended up doing it? They just white labeled all the technology. It's not hard. I could create my own Raycon right now.
This guy's a genius, y'all. Like, real quick, we're only, I would say maybe even a quarter, halfway through this podcast. Where can they find you? How can they book you? What are you offering?
Yeah, so right now you can go to Lujano Media. It's LUJANO media.com. It's just a forum because it says if you're here, you know what I do, basically, because a lot of artists in Atlanta have worked with me and they pretty much already know what I do. I, at some point, am going to create a portfolio. I just never needed to. But I see the importance of it when I go to a new place that don't know what I do.
When you're in Iowa.
Yes, basically.
We don't know nothing. We don't trust nobody. Everybody said they can do that. And nobody can do what you do. So
yeah, so that's why I'm just like, okay, I'll create a portfolio. But basically, what I would consider myself is a business and brand builder. So you can come to me and I'm able to build your business or brand from scratch. You know, as far as getting the logo, the website, your systems set up, as far as like if you need a ticketing system, you need a ordering system, you want to do drop shipping for your merch, or you want to just sell merch. There's just so much I'm able to do as far as the back end on the website or just your business in general.
That's crazy. I was working with somebody that runs a club, and they were saying they spent like $10K on a website, and I'm like, I could do everything you just named for just like $5, just fuck with me type shit. Like, it ain't always got to be, let me get the most money I can out of you. Sometimes it's, let's build a relationship. And, that's what me and you've been like kind of doing and working towards. And I feel like you're going to be like, that's what I'm looking for. It's not like the next thing to build my business. It's the next person that has the knowledge that can take us to the next level. Because I know what I'm capable of, but I also have reached this point in my life where I do understand my limitations.
Okay.
And instead of always trying to fix my weaknesses, I hire my weaknesses.
Yeah. That's very important. That's why when people ask me, am I like a graphic designer? It's like, well, I mean, I can do it, but I don't consider myself a graphic designer. I'm more of like a builder of things. So like, if you wanted a dope logo, I might send you to H. Ross. Shout out to him. Me and him shared an office when I was at Street Execs, and he does all the 2 Chainz stuff, all the Young Dolph stuff, all the Bankroll Fresh stuff. He made their logos, and he also shot like most of 2 Chainz and Young Dolph's and Bankroll's videos. So he's like a real like creative and media person. So it's like, okay, if you come to me, we might get the media done by him. And then I'm implementing, the back end, and we're just creating this whole system for you. A professional system, highest level.
Damn, man.
And, coming to Iowa, it was a change because I've reached out to a couple people like that I personally liked. I was like, you know, I kind of see them doing some cool stuff. And like, I would want to be part of it. But when I reached out to them, you know, they didn't really know who I was. They didn't know what I was capable of doing. They didn't know who I worked with. So it was just kind of like weird vibes, you know?
Yeah. And I feel like that's where I like, I don't want to use the word capitalize, but like I love people. I legit love people. And I feel like the reason I'm different from everybody else out here, and I consider myself an Iowan, and I always rep Iowa. I'm from Iowa. Like, this is what I talk about. But the fact that I'm literally born and, like, mostly raised in Chicago, I know how bad people can be, how shitty people can be for no reason. So, for me, when I see people be Iowa nice, like, we're friends. Like, like, you know, people out there will, if they're anywhere near the Iowa nice, they're plotting on you. They're preying on your downfall. They're going to get you.
Okay.
But out here, you know, there's Iowa nice, but also they don't really, they know what they know and who they know. Yeah. And they need people to vouch for you before they trust you with like their money or their investment or their ideas.
Right.
That's one thing I learned about out here. And what I do different and why I've been able to thrive is like, I trust everybody out here. I'm not scared of you guys. I'm not scared of you taking my idea and doing it first. I embrace that. Cool. Now I don't have to do it and you can lead the way.
Right.
But a lot of times I end up leading the way. But, you know, I'm just not afraid of people doing that. Like, I'm from where doing you dirty is like robbing you, messing with your BM and murdering you all in the same day. Right. So you take a little idea from me. It won't be my last. And I'll learn more from you stealing from me than anything else you could do for me. It's just not really a real threat. It's not a real life issue to me.
And I can agree with that because the way I feel is like, I wouldn't even care if somebody took my idea because I feel like no one can do it better than me because it was my idea. I know exactly how it needs to, you know, come to fruition. So that, to me, that's not an issue.
You're not a threat. Like, that's not, like, I'm not afraid to share it. But they've had people out here that said, and they may have had the idea of wanting to do something that we've already accomplished, and they didn't take the next steps.
Right.
You know, this is the field of dreams. There's a lot of dreamers out here that want to do what we do. But my experience in growing up in Chicago and knowing it's impossible there, you won't have the resources or support, and also seeing it done by so many people in Atlanta coming out here, it's like, bro, y'all are like missing out. Y'all are behind.
So that's another thing. Like, I would go to like there's like a farmer's market downtown, and then there's like in Nubo, they got like some type of like entrepreneur market type of thing. And I go to these places and I was like, man, you know, like there's so many people I want to help because it's like I can see, like I understand what you're trying to do. I can see the vision.
And it where it works.
Exactly. So it's like, you know, I can make something for you work even better and make it more efficient and make your brand doper, you know, but it's just a lot of people aren't willing to and kind of invest in themselves or take that next step to make something dope. Like a lot of stuff they would rather do it themselves and keep it mediocre.
Yep. Either do it themselves and keep it mediocre or hire their cousin's friend that they've seen do it before, even though they know it was shitty, then trust somebody else that says they can do it because they've had somebody else that said, oh, I can do this. It'll be easy. I'll charge you this. And then they'll pick. A lot of people do their pricing out here based on like major city pricing.
Okay.
And we're not a major city.
Right. and the thing is, like with me, I feel like I'm super reasonable priced. But when people ask me, well, how much do you charge? It's like, well, I can't answer that question until I understand what you want. Like, I'm not going to be like, I charge this much for a store because that's not exactly how that works because, you know, within a store, I'm able to do so much. You can just have regular products up or you can make it where they can enter a price and they choose how much they want to pay for that product. I'm able to do all these different functions. Exactly. So when you tell me what it is you're trying to do, then that's when I'm able to create it for you.
Yep.
And then also building your site, I would make it where like you're not going to any third party. We would create a links page that would, you know, substitute for your link tree.
Yep.
stuff like that. So it's like you never have to leave your actual website.
Exactly. And that's something that I actually just did as well, because I do website design too. Nowhere near as extensive that you do, but I use everything from like WordPress, Wix, GoDaddy Site Builder, things of that nature. And, you know, I quoted, all right, I'll do 3 to 5 pages for like $500.
Right.
But when they're like, it's a store, and I'm like, I'll get you taken care of. I literally just did this the other day. And they have 70 products.
But see, I would upload like the first 5, and then I'll record a video. Well, I'm a big video person, so it's like I'll record my screen showing you exactly how to do it, what fields need to be filled in, and then I'll do 5 of them or 6 of them for you to make the front page look good, and then you gotta kind of do the rest on your own, or pay me to do it.
Yeah,
that's an extra fee.
Yeah, so I think I'll have to move to that model as well. Like I'll do the first 10 to 20 products.
I only do the first ones that go on the front page. You know, the front page will be like the latest items or whatever. And you might have 3 to 6 or 9. That's where I would stop, and then it'll be a fee after that. And then I'll make a video for you, like a screen recorded video.
Yeah.
And then
I love that, and that would have been the right answer. I'm 70 products deep.
Oh man,
they're like,
never.
Bro, you're getting close to 30 days. I'm like, I'm gonna hit my target, but this was a lot more work than I should have agreed to.
Oh, you're brave, but like I try to go real deep as far as the website goes, so that way it's more custom and it's not something that AI can build or whatever. Like so my websites, they're a lot deeper than that. Like I can build you another Airbnb website or a Turo website. Like I can build those type of websites. So like it's not, that's why like when people ask like, oh, well, I can just get it done by AI. Yeah, well, that's gonna be a basic website.
Yeah, and it's gonna be something that everybody has or everybody can have. Like when you talk about a Turo or Airbnb, or even like we talked about Tully earlier, an artist database. People don't even know what a database is. Like
that's crazy.
And it's like, dude, that might be the most important part of your site.
Exactly.
Like they just see this visual thing, and even like people are getting a little more familiar with HTML code, but you don't know the difference between HTML, PHP, JavaScript, and then also adding the information into your separate database.
Yeah, like
keeping your database connected. And making sure you got the username and password for that. Let me give you your database username and password. Your head will explode.
Exactly.
Once you log in there, like, oh no. How much do you want again?
Yeah. I know we kind of got a little bit off track, but you know, going back, you know, to basically like the DJ Service Pack website and all that, like after, you know, all of that and in the process of all that, me like moving to Atlanta, you know, I got to see a lot of other things as well. So, like, when I first moved to Atlanta, Street Execs just had offices. There was no studio at all. And it was just like us working in the offices. You know, artists would come through.
You know what year that was?
That would be like 13.
Damn, okay.
So I was working, mind you, I started working with them in 2008. And then I didn't move there till about 13. So I was already years in, but we were still doing that yearly fly out or every twice a year fly out or whatever. So like I already knew them by the time I moved there. Like we've already all knew each other. Yep. And now it's like, damn, now I'm clocking in, and it's just weird. Like me and Charlie had this joke because I was like, instead of me moving there, I was like, what if you put a screen on the wall and I'm there? And like he would always joke about it. He's like, remember when you said we just put a screen and you'll be on the screen? You know, it's just a joke we had, but, you know, when I first moved there, like, no studio at all. Just artists coming through. It was just strictly business. You know, I'll be working in the, you know, the main office, whatever, sleeping on the couch. Like, it was pretty cool. That's where Bankroll ended up dropping Hot Boy on MTV at that time. We're still, no studio, we're still in the office. And, you know, there's a clip of Bankroll seeing it for the first time in the studio or whatever. Now, like, I'm behind the person of the camera. And once the camera cut, I asked Bankroll, like, how does it feel, you know?
Right.
And then when DJ Techniques came in later, I was like, bro, how do you do that? And then he told me, he's like, well, there's this portal you go to. And in that portal, you pay $500 and you upload your video, and then MTV will play your video as long as you get access to this portal.
God damn.
So it's like a lot of little,
Gems.
games and gems that I would get from DJ Techniques. Like every time he came through, bro, I would pick his brain, and he came through every day. He would give me a quote of the day. I'd pick his brain. Like he's like one of the dopest people you could ever meet.
What's so crazy, and like now I gotta find out what year it was, if Charlie was still managing them, but.
Charlie stopped about 2015. He ended up selling his portion of Street Execs. At this time, Bankroll already passed away, and then Charlie, like his tumor got worse. He ended up passing out at 2 Chainz' house, I think in Miami.
Yeah.
And at that point, he wanted to change his life. He wanted to help people, and basically, you know, he sold his portion of Street Execs back to the other 2 partners.
Right.
And he moved to California. And then in 2017, he reached out to me. And at this point, now I'm in Iowa. And he, you know, asked me if I would move to basically California with him. And mind you, I just had a daughter. He's like, can I move to California with him? Can we do it all again? But now, instead of doing the music thing, we're going to be helping people like fulfill their dreams and stuff. And, you know, I'm just like, man, like I can't do it because like I just had a kid. Yep. Like, bro, I can't just pack up my whole family and move there on a whim, and we don't even know if it's gonna work.
Hey man, go ahead and throw me Charlie's number. I think I'll relocate. I'll pack up my family, and no, I'm just kidding, man. Like that's what's hard as we get older in this game. Like you know, you probably did a lot of that in your 20s or whatnot.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, I'm 35 right now, and luckily I've been put in a position where I am able to travel and move around. But there was a few years. Literally 7 years that I'm like, bro, I'm all about my family. I can't pursue a dream. I have to work this job. You know, I got to provide. And like now it's so weird because like I would never like promote divorce or like anything like that. But now that time is split and there's dedicated days and weeks, I'm able to spend a week in Miami and then come back to Iowa. I'm able to spend a week in North Dakota, or then, you know, a few days in Chicago and then come back and handle my responsibilities. So, you know, there's a way to make it work, but there's also the priorities. Like I said, a few years ago, ain't no way I could get on tour or Charlie could make that offer. I would have said, hell no, you know, just 5 years ago to that same offer, knowing who that is and the life-changing things he can do just because of the way my family was set up.
Right.
Now, go ahead, throw me Charlie number.
Yeah, so that, you know, that was just, that's also a reason why I'm still here in Iowa, because it was just like I kind of like, you know, planted my roots once I left Atlanta and whatnot. And, you know, it's harder now that I have 2 kids than to just pack up and leave or whatever. But back when I lived in Atlanta, I had a son, and at that time he was about 3 years old, and you know, he's meeting Schoolie. I got a video of him clapping like with these dancers with Travis Porter because they were doing like this DVD at the time. They were trying to promote this single. It's like this whole thing, girls shaking. Like it was just a wild experience, and my son got to experience some of it. Today, before I came here, I asked, I was like, you remember when we lived in Atlanta? And I'm like, and I would go into the office. He's like, yeah, like the hangout spot. I'm like, it wasn't a hangout spot. I was like, you know, it was a studio. Yeah, I'm like, it was a studio. He's like, yeah, but a lot of people would hang out there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, they would, but, you know, I'm still working. You know, all these people are there for business.
Yep. It's so crazy because that's how my daughter is too. Like, she just looks at it as like, oh, daddy's at the studio. And, like, daddy used to look at this like, bro, I'm about to be in the studio. Like, this used to be the most exciting thing of my day. And now with my daughter, she's 8, and it's like, it's just a studio. All right, you at the studio today, Pop? Like, it's nothing to them. It's normal. And like, I kind of even appreciate that. Like, we created this lifestyle, and that's something I want to get into with you, because we got a couple games I got to play with you for sure. But
okay, cool.
I want to talk about like, how normal was it for you to be around Travis Porter, Bankroll? When were you starstruck, if ever? And like, you know, what kind of bases were you guys on?
So so the first time I met 2 Chainz, I was a little starstruck, but I played it cool. Like, you know, like with everybody I met, I played it cool. I've never been like, oh, let me get a picture, because it wasn't the right situation. I wasn't meeting them randomly. So with 2 Chainz, the first time I met him, we met up at his studio. He has this studio. I'm not gonna say where it's at or anything, but me, DJ Techniques, Wolf, H Dot, Shad, we were all waiting for 2 Chainz. And he ends up, we're all there waiting. I was a little excited. I'm not gonna lie, but I just, with any star I play it cool, bro. So 2 Chainz pulls up, and mind you, 2 Chainz pulls up in a regular car, bro. I'm not gonna say what it is, but you would never in your whole life guess 2 Chainz was in this car. The windows were all tinted out. I'm not gonna say the type of car it was. You would never guess. You could be at the gas station with this car and you wouldn't even know 2 Chainz is in there. But basically, he pulls up, he jumps out, boom, he's in some pajama pants and a t-shirt, no jewelry. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like just a regular dude. Like, he just woke up out of bed.
Yep.
And there was another guy there that won an Adidas competition. So mind you, leading up to this, DJ Techniques set me up, bro. So what happened is DJ Techniques is like, hey, so come up with a plan. He was telling me, Shad, H Dot, and Wolf to come up with a plan because he's going to release a mixtape. And he's all like, come up with a rollout, what we can do, where we can post it, and blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I come up with this whole plan, this whole rollout, right? So we all get in the studio. We're sitting down. 2 Chainz puts a blunt in the air. He's like, you want to smoke? I'm like, nah, because I'm nervous, bro. Mind you, I'm nervous. I just met him. We're all sitting around. The dude that won that Adidas competition is like, hell yeah, I'll smoke. He's happy as hell to be around 2 Chainz, right? I'm nervous. So I go through this whole spiel about the mixtape, this whole thing, and I'm nervous this whole time. And 2 Chainz is like, I thought we were here to talk about my merch. He's all like, live mixtapes is paying for the videos for this mixtape, so they're gonna be the ones to post it. So I can't. So I'm like, so bro, I look at Techniques like I came up with this whole rollout for nothing, bro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So at this time, I just get quiet and stuff.
Fuck.
And then now I got to brainstorm on the spot about merch, and I had no idea we were supposed to talk about merch. I'm like, DJ Techniques, this guy just set me up, bro.
What I will say is there's nothing that you do for nothing.
Right. And then
now you know how to do a rollout properly.
Exactly.
And you got the steps and you were ready. Like, that's the story. You were ready for a rollout for fucking 2 Chainz.
Yes.
That's the real fucking story, the win that, like, people need to take that away from what you experience.
And I mean, he has a way of making you feel cool too, because he looked at me in my eyes. He's like, you know what? I'm proud of you or whatever. Because I went to that whole spiel, bro. Because I went to that whole spiel.
Motherfucker had a PowerPoint, had one of them sticks, had the motherfucking A, B, C.
Right, and I'm the only one out the loop. Like, bro, like Techniques, like what's whatever. But
that's wild.
That was like, I was starstruck, but I was also nervous. And then it was just a whole situation where I wasn't just meeting him. Like, I had this whole presentation or whatever.
Yep.
Another one of my favorite artists, right? Young Jeezy.
Yep. One of mine as well.
Yeah. So I was pretty starstruck when I met him.
Before we get to Jeezy, they're going to have to listen to this next half and the games. So we're going to get some dope snippets from the mobile device, and that's going to be great content. So you were going to tell a story about Mr. Jizzle, Jeezy.
Yeah, so the first time he was asking me, was I ever starstruck or whatever, and meeting Jeezy, I was a little starstruck because he's my favorite artist. And what happened was me and Jeezy's son already built a relationship. So he brought me to the back of a pizza spot, one of Jeezy's favorite pizza spots. We walk in like into the kitchen or whatever. And at that point, I see Jeezy. It's my first time meeting him or whatever. And like, bro's actually tall though. He's like the same size as me. But anyways, his son's introducing me to him or whatever. And, we just start talking business because me and his son, we had business together or whatever. And I don't want to get into too many details about that. But that was another time I felt like I was super starstruck meeting Jeezy. And then me and his son went back to my crib. We kicked it and talked more business and got a couple of things done. But that was another time I was starstruck. And I would say meeting Birdman, I was starstruck. So this was at... so Street Execs throws this Christmas concert every year it's a Christmas concert, and they have like the biggest artists here. All you got to do is bring a toy. You could get in for free or whatever. And they would have like big people there. So T.I. was there, 2 Chainz was there, Migos was there, OG Maco was there. Birdman pulled up. He was with Young Thug and Young Buck, bro. Young Buck, right? But meeting Birdman, he was the first person I was just like, bro, I have to meet you. Like, even outside of Jeezy and 2 Chainz or whatever, like Birdman, I don't know why. It was just maybe his business ethic. Like, I had to meet this guy, man. And I was just so struck, and I was nervous meeting him. He was the only person that I was like, bro, I have to shake your hand. I have to meet you. I have to come up to you and fan out, bro. He was the only person. Young Buck, it was like, cool, I shook his hand, whatever. But Birdman was the person I fanned out for. That's the only person I've ever fanned out for.
That's nuts. So I got a couple stories, too. I don't need to show mine, but I feel like this could possibly be like the same week or same weekend. We went to Birdman's birthday party. I think it was at a place called Echelon 2K. Okay. And Young Buck was one of the openers. There was like 3 other artists, like Yo Gotti, like 3 other artists there. It was, and I feel like I don't remember the time frame it was, but for you to say those same exact names, but we end up getting a drop from Birdman. Okay. So we're in Atlanta, and I'm like, we're living it up. We're with Waka Flocka, 2 Chainz almost every night. OJ the Juice Man, every time we went to a strip club.
Bro, I'm not going to lie. I fronted on OJ the Juice Man, bro. And I'm sorry, OJ.
What you mean?
I'm sorry. All right, so DJ Holiday has this thing called Hollapalooza. And it was like supposed to be like his version of Lollapalooza from Chicago, whatever. Yep. So this year, he had like Migos and like all these people come to this Hollapalooza or whatever. And be in the back, like backstage, I was kind of getting footage for the the DJ Service Pack website or whatever. We're creating like this collage, and we're just like, and this girl asked me, like, oh, OJ the Juice Man was right there. She's like, you want to interview him or whatever? I was like, nah, I don't want to interview OJ the Juice Man. Like, bro, and bro was like, where I'm sitting to where you're at, bro, I fronted on him, bro. Because at this point, mind you, like, at this point, I'm lit. Like, people want to be around me because, like, mind you, I'm with street execs. Like, people want to get stuff done for me. Like, I'm lit at this time, bro. Like, everybody's jocking me. So when OJ the Juice Man came, bro, I fronted on him. And, like, I kind of feel like shit about it now. Like, damn, bro. But that was just a situation where I was just kind of a little big-headed. And, I'm like, bro, I'm going to do something with you, but I'm about to get these big old artists. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, looking back, bro, like, being more mature, it's like, it was kind of fucked up.
OJ the Juice Man. Do you remember Short Bus Shawty?
Yeah, I quarter brick, half a brick, whole brick. Hey, like, bro, I know I messed with Juice Man, but that was just a situation where I was, like, I was just used to being the person being jocked at that time.
Damn, man.
Yeah, I know, and Juice wasn't hot at that time. Like, bro, like, mind you, I got people like, okay, so before the street execs went to that studio, this guy came in there, OG Maco, and even him, like, he tried to play music for us. Like, he was sleeping on his friend's floor, and one of his friends brought him in or whatever, and he was trying to, and we're just like, nah, we're good. Yep. And then QC ended up picking him up for a single, and they did that, bitch, you guessed it.
Yeah.
Like,
you was right.
Yeah, So we fronted on him, me and Charlie, because me and Charlie were the only ones in there that day, and we fronted on him, bro. No. I ain't even gonna lie, but Charlie got a nice way of curving people. Yeah. Like, oh, I'll think about it, whatever. But we still low-key, like, fronted on him. And then McConan wanted to be Stein the street execs too, and they were just like, nah, we just didn't know what to do with him. And he ended up dropping with Drake a little bit later. And that day,
like, you should have did that first.
That day, Drake jumped on it, right? I was at the studio when he did his first interview ever with DJ Holiday, and Diamond was there, and then Sonny Digital and Metro Boomin brought him to the studio.
What?
Yeah, and at this time, Metro Boomin and Sonny Digital, they ain't popping at this time. They're just like, McConan came in, and he was the hot one at the time because Drake just jumped on his record. First interview ever. Like, I was right there. I shot some footage of it, and like, bro, right there.
You was really in the thick of it. So once again, real quick, I'm hitting record. I made some space. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to another episode of Talkin' Top Tier. I'm your host, Tone the Boss. I got the super ultra mega webmaster Joe with me, Kingpin of Atlanta. I mean, you know, he kind of made things move and made artists blow, and I think it's pretty dope.
Yeah, man. There's so many stories I have. It's just, I guess, hard to think about them. And as I'm talking about the story, it just kind of triggers this happened, all this happened.
And like to somebody like me, and like just like me, it means a lot too, because I was there in 2011. I saw, like I said, I saw the transformation from Titty Boy to 2 Chainz. I saw Future become something. It was Racks on Racks. Like, that wasn't even his song. It was YC's song featuring Future. And, you know, that was his first radio record, like his first real chance. And we laughed about the song and how silly and simple it was. Racks on Racks on Racks. Like, but they played it nonstop.
There's a debate in Atlanta, though, that, that, you know, Future kind of took the swag of Schoolie. That's a whole debate, because Schoolie's the one that started that little harmonizing. He could really hit them notes with no auto-tune.
Yeah.
So it's a whole debate. It's an Atlanta thing where Schoolie had the swag first, but Future took off with it.
Before we get too far into that, I think we got to introduce our first game. It is the top 5 artists from Atlanta that you've seen blow up.
Top 5 artists I seen blow up.
I'll start at number 5. Again, this is 2011. We're at a random birthday party for these kids, and we're like 19, 20. Okay. These kids, they're telling us they're about to be stars, and they're like 13, 14 years old. It was a kid named Issa and Jacquees.
Okay.
And we were at, I think it was like Jacquees or Issa's birthday party, and they performed, and it was one of the coolest experiences I ever seen. Like, even at 19, I was like proud of the parents. Like, this is really well put together. They rented a venue, they got a custom cake, they did a performance, they had the lights, they had a step and repeat. Like, that really influenced the way that I still move today. Okay. So that my number 5 is Jacquees.
I got one. You might say it doesn't count, but I think it does. I think it does.
What you got?
So that I've seen, like I've watched come up from Atlanta. I know you're going to say it don't count, but I'm going to say Cap One.
It don't count. No, I'm just playing.
Because Cap One's from Chicago, but 2 Chainz signed him, and now he's doing his whole run in Atlanta. He's still in Atlanta. I considered him, like, his whole run and him living there, him doing his thing, like I would say Atlanta.
That's like ludicrous. Like that girl came out a year or 2 ago talking about this is not Atlanta. Ludacris is not Atlanta. And it's like nobody's repped Atlanta harder than Ludacris. Right. I feel like he's one of the pioneers that put Atlanta on the map. But he was born in like Illinois somewhere, and it's like maybe even Chicago. But it's like, nah, he's Atlanta like to the death of him for real, for real. Yep. So born there or not, that dude is ATL. So you got your number 5 at Cap One. My number 5 is Jacquees. My number 4 on top 5 Atlanta artists I've seen come up, like literally watched. My number 4 is Travis Porter.
Okay.
Travis Porter.
I can respect that.
We were huge fans before moving to Atlanta. When we even moved to Atlanta, it wasn't like, oh my God, we're going to do what Travis Porter did. It was like we respected what they did, and we were just fans of their music. Yeah. I remember... Soulja Boy took one all the way up.
Yes.
Talk about that.
Okay, so what happened was ATL was the guy's name, aka Roscoe Dash, right?
Yep.
So, like, basically, Travis Porter heard his song because he wanted them on. They're like, oh, this is my song. They heard it, they liked it, they wanted to jump on it, and they wanted to use it on one of their mixtapes. But then he was just like, nah, like, don't he didn't want them to basically use it.
Yep, and blow it up.
Right, so, but they did blow it up because the Travis Porter version is the one that made the rounds first.
Yep.
And mind you, Travis Porter didn't have Make It Rain yet, so they weren't on. Nope. So this was going to be one of their breakout songs.
Yep.
But then Roscoe Dash, a.k.a. ATL, they took the song, shopped it around. Then, you know, obviously Soulja Boy heard it. It's a hit. I'll jump on it.
Exactly. That's going to add longevity to my career that was on its way out the door.
Exactly. So that ended up happening there. So Travis Porter was a little like,
you gotta be hurt. I know they was hurt when we heard all the way up from Travis Porter first, and it was like, who the hell is Roscoe Dash? And it was like, well, he got Soulja Boy.
It was his name was ATL on the original song.
Damn.
Yeah. So you know it just put Travis Porter back in a situation where they had like that Waffle House song, but they didn't have a breakout hit. They didn't have Make It Rain or Bring It Back. Those didn't come out till later.
And what's wild is I didn't hear Waffle House till after I heard Make It Rain, Bring It Back, and we'll get to that stuff too, because they were one of my favorite groups. I said me and my guys were a group before we heard them, and when we heard them, they really inspired us and motivated us even more. And we even got to open up for them and 2 Chainz in Paducah, Kentucky one year. I feel like it might have been 2014.
Okay.
If Charlie left in 2015, this was definitely like 2014 or 20. It may have been sooner than that because it was 2 Chainz and Travis Porter, and we're backstage kicking it with everybody, and Techniques was there, and there was another guy there. It could have been Charlie, but like we were all just kicking it like regular fucking people. Yeah. Before 2 Chainz blew, but we knew he was gonna blow from what we saw in Atlanta.
Yeah, and that's the one thing. Like I know you asked me earlier in the interview, like if I was starstruck. One thing you got to understand is like all these artists are just normal people. Mm-hmm. So then that's one thing that you know you get like these people got to think like they're not in this like facade or camera mode or character 24/7. They're just like normal people you're talking shit with, talking sports with, talking this, like it's just normal. Like at a certain point it's normal. Like okay, that's K Camp right there. Okay, cool. Like we're chilling. It's normal. Like it's not a big deal. Like so one person came through to the studio, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm not gonna lie, bro, I didn't hear his song. I met him before I heard his song. Yeah. So like when I met him, like I felt like I was the bigger person. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So like, but so I met him, whatever, and they're all like, you know, Shad and Wolf. They're like, you ain't hear his song. You ain't hear. I'm like, nah. Who is he? They're like, his name's Fetty Wap. I'm like, I never heard his song. You never heard Trap Queen? I was like, no. So then his manager comes in. One of his managers is RGF. It's not production. It's like Island. It's what it's technically called. And they paid us. They paid me right there on the spot to build a website for them. And they never even like reached back out to get it done. They just paid me.
That's wild.
So like, so like technically I owe RGF Island a website.
Shout out to RGF Island, this guy.
But those are the people that are like, you know, at the end of the song, RGF Productions,
Yeah.
I technically owe them a website. They paid me and never got it. They didn't want it made. They were just getting money, bro.
They just throw money and not even.
And I met Fetty Wap before he got the dreads and all that.
Yeah.
This is before that, so I met him.
He had 2 eyes.
Nah.
My bad. I mean, he's funny. That's crazy. Is Fetty Wap on your list? Don't spoil it. Never mind. My number 4 was my number 5, Jacquees. Your number 5, Cap One. My number 4, Travis Porter.
Mine is Schoolie.
Schoolie,
he used to be with Rich Kids. So after Rich Kids, 2 Chainz ended up taking him under his wing. That was like 2 Chainz, like little bro type of situation.
Yep.
And one thing, I don't know if you've ever noticed, but so the way 2 Chainz signed his artists in the beginning is he was trying to give them a second chance, kind of like how he got his second chance as 2 Chainz versus him being Titty Boy and being with Play a Circle.
Yeah.
So like he signed Cap One, and Cap One used to be with Motown, like this rapper from Chicago, and now it's like him giving him a second chance.
Yep.
Schoolie used to be with Rich Kids and in a group, and then now he's trying to give him his second chance.
Nice.
So that's how 2 Chainz was kind of like signing his artists, feeling like he's trying to give these people their second chance type of thing.
I ain't mad at that. And then my number 3, we had a lot of fun. I saw when Wale performed, maybe not for the first time in Atlanta, but the first time they recorded this record together or performed it together. It was Waka Flocka. I had to see Waka Flocka in like what I thought was his prime.
Okay.
And
I never met Waka.
I've met him at least 3 different times from Cedar Rapids or Iowa City.
Okay.
We were in New Orleans together, but Atlanta, the first time I met him, was one of the coolest experiences. They had performed No Hands, Waka, Wale, and Roscoe Dash, and it was like maybe the first week we moved in Atlanta, so
okay,
it felt extra special. His mom was his manager. So we saw who she was, but yeah, Waka Flocka is my number 3 of my top 5. Who is your number 3?
Number 3, I have Bankroll Fresh.
Okay,
and that's because like with Bankroll, like I was part of I'm the only person that's ever built a Bankroll Fresh website. I got those rights right there, those bragging rights, and I basically seen his grind from. Him trying to get put on. Mind you, I'm not going to discredit, like, he was with Gucci. He got videos with Gucci and, like, other artists. Like, he was making noise, but he didn't have the structure in order to, like, propel him to the next level. And when he came with Street Execs, that's what kind of took him to that next level. And I was part of that process the whole way. So, like, that's something I'm pretty proud of.
That's fucking fire. Bankroll Fresh. All right. And then what records did Schoolie and Bankroll have? Like, we got to give the audience something to, or maybe even me, I'll just play them.
Yeah, so Bankroll, I would say he had Hot Boy, Walk In that's another like kind of breakout record.
All right, my number 2, I mentioned him earlier. When I first heard that Racks on Racks song, we thought YC was going to be a star. It is Future.
Ooh, Future.
That became the star from that record. But I made a post the other day and people started arguing with me. I have to tell you where they said he stole it from. But it was Kanye's. He's got something, him with Ty Dolla song, just Ty Dolla Sign, just used the cadence of Racks on Racks. And because it came out in like 2011, a lot of these younger audiences are like 2021. They don't know that record. So they think that this is their style. And it's like you stole the exact cadence. Like they're na 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 da 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 da. And it's like, bro, I remember exactly where that, came from. That 13 years ago, we were in there when it was made and when it came out, and it was huge in Atlanta, but may not have went around the rest of the world. So it's really cool to know that I was like there for the start of Future.
Okay, that's your number 2?
That's my number 2. Who you got?
My number 2, I would say, is Travis Porter.
Yeah.
But that's another
I feel like they're closer to home for you.
Yeah, because they're the first like major artist I've built a website for. And again, they're another artist like Bankroll that I'm the only web developer that's ever built a Travis Porter website. So that's a little bit closer to home as well. And they were the first major artists that, I watched go from nothing to something in the whole grind. And I'm building their actual online site, building marketing campaigns behind it.
Yep.
Like I have to go with that.
Okay. I'm very curious. I'm going to tell you my number 1 is, we've brought him up a lot. And maybe it's there's number 1 because it should be 2 Chainz.
Yep, that's my number 1.
It's got to be number 1, bro.
Yep, like that's really another person I helped build campaigns for, but also 2 Chainz was just another level. And like he's the type of guy that he has these big ideas and he's creative, and he would so basically 2 Chainz would give the idea, and then boom, now we're all in a meeting in a round table, and Charlie and Tech and all them would come in and be like, 2 Chainz wants to do this. And then now we're going around the table. We're all giving our ideas of how we're going to accomplish it, how we're going to get it done, how we could make it better, stuff like that. So that's another artist that I was hands-on with just behind the scenes. Nobody's seen my face for Bankroll, Travis Porter, none of these artists. But I've touched work, either marketing, website, digital. Like I've helped push these artists to where they are.
And there's no better feeling than that. Like knowing where you were, the role that you played, and like seeing where they are now.
Yeah, definitely.
That's got to be the dopest fucking feeling ever, man. Like, so like, thank you specifically for your contribution. We got to go back over our 5. I got to read mine one more time real quick.
All right, and I'll run mine down real quick.
All right, so I'm going to go through all 5. Let me just hit record here. Give me just a moment. All right, so these are Tone the Boss's top 5 artists that I watched rise from Atlanta. Number 5, Jacquees. Number 4, Travis Porter. Number 3, Waka Flocka. Number 2, Future. Shout out Racks on Racks on Racks. And number 1, 2 Chainz. So those are my top 5. Jacquees, Travis Porter, Waka Flocka, Future, and 2 Chainz. All right. Who you got? You get to read yours. It's not fair. I got to, remember mine. All
right, so my top 5, I did Cap One, Schoolie, Bankroll Fresh, Travis Porter, and 2 Chainz, and I got to work with all of them, and I actually contributed to building their websites and doing some type of marketing behind their campaigns as well.
And these are your top 5 artists you watched rise from Atlanta.
Watch rise and had part in them rising. Yes.
What years were you in Atlanta?
So in Atlanta, I was technically only in Atlanta for about 2 years, but I was doing remote work for them since 2008. And as close as I did to Schoolie something for him last year. Nice. So I do a lot of contract work now, but back then I was actually in-house web developer. I was on a salary.
And you were out there 2011 to 2013?
13 to 15, 16. And then I'm in Iowa 17.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Shout out to the webmaster, Joe. All right, now we get to play the fun game. So I got us some storage and then the damn iPad died. So this is you're subscribed to the podcast. You're subscribed to the Patreon and in the Discord. This is exclusive content here.
So the cameras ain't even recording no more?
The cameras are off. The audio is still going.
Okay.
And it's good. You're going to actually appreciate it because I'm going to ask you these questions. And
okay.
they are exclusive. You don't want just anybody being able to hear this. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right. So what this is a game. It's called This or That. Now I've watched a full episode of Drink Champs. So they have something similar.
Okay.
Where it's this, that, or drink. And I came up with this first. Well, before them. Not originally first, but before them. But basically, I'll give you one or the other options. You need to answer with one of those options. A lot of people try to elaborate, and then we end up here all day.
All right, I'll run through it. One, so I choose either or. I can't do both.
Do not do both.
Okay.
And do not explain. You get 3 elaborations. So you can explain up to 3 times. So you want to be careful with this. Don't use up your elaborations immediately.
All right.
All right. Let me just pull this up here. It's about to get cray. And there we go. I'm going to go ahead and pin this in my notes because I'm having to find it the last couple episodes. It's about 30 questions. So, like I said, you don't want to elaborate on everything. You get 3 elaborations. However, I can stop and make you elaborate at any time.
Okay, cool.
All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
What's more important, humble or prideful?
What's more important?
Yes.
Humble.
What would you rather have, streams or followers?
Followers.
Would you rather cheat on your girl or get cheated on?
Cheat on my girl.
I won't make you elaborate. What's more important? Now, don't forget you got 3 elaborations.
Right.
Use them as you need. What's more important? Who you know or what you know?
Who you know.
Monogamy or poly?
Monogamy.
What's more important? Honesty or loyalty?
Loyalty.
What would you rather have? Friends or business partners?
Business partners.
What's more important to you? Street cred or business reputation?
Business reputation.
Would you rather have a tough relationship or have it easy being single?
Easy being single.
Yeah, we can't let.
Because I feel like I can elaborate.
Yep, here's one.
Yep. So I feel like, if you're in a relationship and it's tough I feel like you probably shouldn't be in that relationship because y'all should support each other and also kind of make things easier and support each other in your dreams and what you're trying to accomplish. Because if it's a battle at home, you know, you're already battling the world.
Facts.
So
big facts. I respect that. All right. Jordan or LeBron?
Jordan. Because that's how it came up. Hold
on. Is that elaboration?
Nah,
you done?
nah,
You done?
nah,
All right. Would you rather, if you're just dating somebody for the first time, would you rather they have a low body count or experience?
Low body count. I don't care about the experience because we could learn that together.
All right, be careful. You flirting with these elaborations. I'll have to take one from you next time. All right. Do you think a man pays or y'all should always do 50-50 or go Dutch?
Depends.
Nah.
Elaboration.
Nah, okay.
All right.
But you got to pick one even with the elaboration.
Yeah. So I feel like a man should always pay if given the financial situation for the most part. So like in my personal situation, like I take care of my family at this time. So I just feel like a man should always pay. But if you're in a financial bind and you don't have it, then you probably have no choice but to go 50-50.
You're down to one elaboration already. We're not even halfway.
Damn.
The next question is, do you support more independent women or equal partnerships?
Equal partnerships.
All right. Do you believe in split bank accounts or shared?
Split.
Do you passwords? Should they be private or shared between you and your partner?
Shared.
You said that with a lot of confidence. I will let you elaborate on it.
All right. I say shared because like my thing is, if anything ever happened to me and like I passed away, I need my woman to be able to log into like, you know, everything. Our Fidelity account where we got stocks and.
Next question. Patron or Henny?
Henny. I'm not a light drinker. I'm a dark.
Hold on. That sounds like elaboration. You got one left.
No, I'm not. Whoa. I said my answer. Henny.
What's more important, shock value or repeat value?
Repeat value.
Go ahead and elaborate on that. That's on me.
All right. So I feel like shock value, you could get their attention for the moment. So think about this, right? There's artists that have songs bigger than their name, and that could be shock value, and then you don't even know who the artist is, and then they're gone, right? Like think about Flick of My Wrist from that Cheddar the Connect, right? Yeah. That song was bigger than him, so now it's a shock value, good song, but guess what? Nobody cares about anything he's doing next.
Facts. Dave Chappelle or Eddie Murphy?
Chappelle. I'm a big Chappelle fan.
All right. Jamie Foxx or Will Smith? And Will this is Smith. Almost a who would you rather be?
Will Smith.
Okay. Shit, I gotta have you elaborate on that because that smack was brutal.
Yeah, but I feel like Will Smith just in general, I would feel like has a super better life because you gotta think.
Hold on, have you not seen what Jada's been putting him through?
No,
on social media?
I know now. But think about it. He could switch that in a minute. If he ever just left Jada and be like, I'm gonna be a single bachelor, he'd be living life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So that's why if I had to be him, I'd be Will Smith. Like he got everything. He got the music, he got the TV, the movies. Bro,
the
money, like, and he could leave Jada in a minute. He could get more wives, girls. He could tell me not if he leaves Jada.
He probably already has that and just been keeping it low.
Right,
key.
But I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. All right. Cat Williams or Kevin Hart?
Cat Williams.
Before the interview he dropped this year,
always Cat Williams.
Always.
Yeah. I don't find Kevin Hart funny.
How about successful? Do you feel that Kevin Hart is successful? This is me having you elaborate again.
Yeah, of course.
But he's definitely more successful than Cat Williams,
he's
right?
He's richer than Cat Williams, but like I feel like Cat Williams is funnier to me.
I like your choice of words too. He's richer. Do you think he's more successful?
I would say it depends how you define success. Ooh. But yes, is successful, I would say yes, because Kevin Hart has his own production company. Yeah. He does movies. He did a movie on Netflix. Yeah. And then he owns most of his stand-up stuff. So he's more successful, but who I find funnier and more entertaining is Cat Williams.
Okay. So who you rather watch is Cat Williams.
Yes.
who you'd rather be?
It's Kevin Hart.
Okay. I love that answer. There's no right answer. I wasn't trying to push you towards either
good.
answer. That
Yeah,
was a dope ass elaboration. Like I'll make a clip from that, like why, you said your answer and other people gave theirs. Do you prefer to overplan or go with the flow?
Overplan.
Proper preparation prevents poor performance. The 5 P's. That's some Chicago shit right there. Do you prefer text or phone call?
Text.
Kanye or Jay-Z?
Kanye.
Is that a Chicago thing?
I wouldn't say that. I feel like Jay-Z's overrated.
Okay. LA or New York?
I never been to either.
If you were to go to one, which one would you go to?
I'll say LA.
Windows or Mac?
Windows all day. And Android.
Lit. All right, I lied. There is a right or wrong answer, and you just chose the wrong one.
If you choose Apple and all that, you're just part of that little system. They want to charge you for everything.
It's convenient. It's easy. It's organized.
Harder to crack stuff. They just want to charge you.
You can't crack my shit. I ain't never had a virus. I don't slow down. Anyway, moving on. So the other question was iPhone or Android. You said the whack phone.
Nah, the good one.
No. Stone Cold or The Rock?
The Rock.
Johnny Depp or Robert Downey Jr.? We got him, guys. We got him.
Robert Downey Jr.
I'll let you elaborate. That was tough for you.
That's Buddy from Iron Man, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I feel like I like him better as an actor. But honestly, I've never seen that that sea stuff from.
Oh, you never watched Pirates of the Caribbean?
Never seen.
You'll see hella acting from that. Johnny Depp did Edward Scissorhands. He did.
I've seen Edward
Willy
Scissorhands.
Wonka.
I've seen the Willy
did,
Wonka. I just never seen the Pirates of the Caribbean. That's like one of the biggest things people talk about. I've never seen any of them.
Okay, that may change. Robert Downey is fire. I say there's no right answers. Robert Downey's the right answer. Anyway, Do or Die or Bone Thugs?
Do or Die just because it's
Chicago bro. You Chicago. Twister or Tech 9?
Twister.
Chicago again.
Adrenaline Rush was the first rap song I've ever heard.
Get out.
Swear.
That's fire. Adrenaline Rush. What's more important? This is going to be great for you, and I will have you elaborate before I even ask. He's all ready, but this is just a legit good question. What's more important? Education or field experience?
Field experience.
Go ahead and elaborate.
Because I feel like a lot of hands-on experience you can't ever get from just education. Somebody can tell you how to do something, you can learn how to do something, but when you're actually in the field doing it, it's not the same thing. And I feel like I've never went to school for any web development or any graphic design, anything like that, but I've got to work in the biggest field or with the highest level of players that you can work with.
That's fire. Nelly or Ludacris? No elaboration. You got one. If you want to use it, we still got like 10 questions.
I would say Ludacris.
All right.
I feel like Nelly's...
you going to elaborate?
No.
Dr. Dre or Timberland?
Dr. Dre.
That was quick. I'm not gonna give you one. Ed Sheeran or Justin Bieber?
I honestly never heard anything from Ed Sheeran, so I'm going to just go with Justin Bieber.
Nothing? Oh, you're missing out. I'm going to put you on, brother. Ed Sheeran's fire. Justin Timberlake or Bruno Mars?
Justin Timberlake.
What's more important, punctuality or perfection?
That's a good one. Define punctuality.
Punctuality is being on time. Perfection is doing it right.
I would say punctuality. If you're able to show up, if you don't get it right the first time, let's just keep it going. Run it.
Okay.
Perfection could keep you in a procrastination state.
Good point. I won't charge you an elaboration because that was good. All right. We got 3, 6, 9 questions left. Don't forget, you got one elaboration left.
All right.
Usher or R. Kelly?
Ooh. Now that one's a hard one.
And you from Chicago. So
I know.
that one hits a little harder.
I would say R. Kelly.
Okay.
And it's not a Chicago thing, just
music.
R. Kelly. Yeah.
All right. I won't make you elaborate because that's a touchy one. Literally.
No Diddy.
No Diddy. All right, Chris Brown or Drake?
Drake.
Beyonce or Rihanna?
Beyonce.
Michael Jackson or Prince?
I'll go Michael Jackson.
Mario or Sonic?
Damn, my son's gonna kill me for this one. Mario.
You got 4 questions left. Do you want to elaborate on that?
I guess Mario's one of my first games with Nintendo, and then Sonic was one of my son's first games, and yeah, he would choose Sonic. He would get mad at me when he hears this. Sonic is his favorite character. I hear Sonic all day, and my son like makes clips with CapCut. Like I taught him to juice. Like
he said, I taught him that.
Yeah, that's hard. That. He's hard. Y'all gonna hire him as an editor.
I swear, that's fire. All right, this next question, I'm gonna tell you what it is, but I'm gonna give you an option because you said you're from Chicago. I don't know what years you were there, but Domino's or Pizza Hut is the question. But I go to Chicago a lot. And I want to ask somebody Beggars or Giordano's. Have you had both of those?
Yes, I have.
Perfect.
I've had. So, what I would say is, I would say Pizza Hut back in the day when they had the bar and they brought it out in the skillet, hot as hell. Like that was like a treat. So if it was like a treat going out or whatever, yeah. And then you can't leave out like Home Run Inn on some Chicago stuff. Like Home Run Inn's a real place you can go to.
Places, yes.
Yeah, like it's a real place you can go to.
Not just the Walmart freezer.
Exactly. I was just at a Home Run Inn like 3 weeks ago.
I just had Giordano's yesterday. They have one in Des Moines, so I hit it every time.
Okay.
So you've had Beggars and Giordano's?
Yeah, but see, Giordano's like the deep dish and all that. I'm not a big fan of it. Like,
what?
You got to think, I grew up in the hood, so like a Pizza Nova, you would get this dope pizza, and then you would get rib tips on the side. My mom would always order a bucket of rib tips. Somebody needs to bring rib tips here to Iowa.
I swear. Oh man, we used to go to a place called Mississippi Rick's. It was like a block away, and the ribs there were just phenomenal.
But these ain't regular ribs; they're just little rib tips, and they're in a bucket, and they come. You put it on the side as a pizza.
Oh yeah, damn! I ain't never had them with pizza. That's wild. All right, last 3 questions: Lil Wayne or Eminem?
Damn, I'm gonna say Eminem.
We got 2 more questions. Do you want to elaborate on that one?
Yeah, I would say
use it.
I'll use it for this one.
You said Eminem?
Yeah.
Thank you. I just had this argument last night, and they were like, all right, quote some Eminem. And I was like, a lot of his shit is so complicated, I can't just quote it. And although Wayne's stuff is brilliant, it's also simple enough to quote, and that helps his brilliance, but also I see Lil Wayne's genius, or I'm sorry, I see Lil Eminem's genius from I can't just quote this shit that he just made rhyme, make sense, and it's the most outrageous shit my brain couldn't think of. What's your reasoning?
Yeah, so it's basically something similar where like Eminem would say like some of the wildest stuff, but then he would also have a song like Sing for the Moment or something that it kind of,
he can do it all if he wanted to.
Exactly, but then you could have like I Am the Way I Am where it's kind of more of a little bit wild. Like, I don't know, I feel like that versatility and he could make you feel, it's like that feeling he could bring like out of you. And then also obviously like, I'm gonna say it, y'all might hate it, like that whole 8 Mile thing, like it made people want to rap.
Yep. No, I love that.
But not to take nothing from Wayne, like something I think Wayne should do now, what I would do if I was like Wayne's manager is I would go back, grab all his songs, like, all his mixtapes hits, like Me and My Drink, Sky's the Limit and all that. Then I would put together like a little bundle package or whatever and go on tour off of that, drop it on all the streaming platforms. I would, you know what I'm saying? Wayne could turn up right now, but you ain't even got to make nothing new, Wayne. Go grab all these mixtape hits, combine it to one mixtape, drop it, boom.
That'd be fine.
You'd run up the numbers.
Like crazy. All right, that's a gem right there. We might have to cut that. We got to sell that. All right, next question. This one has determined a lot of my friendships. I need you to give the right answer. This one does have a right answer.
All right.
Hopefully you just don't know the latter of the answers. Poncheros or Chipotle?
To me, that's an easy one.
I'm scared. What? God, just do it. Just do it.
Ponchero.
Yeah! Hold on, where's the
It's not even close.
Not even close. My heart be breaking when people say Chipotle, bro. Like, what are you doing?
Exactly. No, bro.
Which one did you go to? It was the wrong one.
Exactly.
Whatever. Like, you're lying.
I feel like that's the right and wrong answer, too.
I swear. Most of this is opinion, but there's a factual question. All right, the very last question, and I'll just throw you an elaboration on this because you've worked with a lot of people. Would you rather deal with a smartass or deal with a dumbass?
Smartass.
Why?
Because I feel like sometimes trying to explain something to a dumbass or trying to get something through, like, bro, this isn't gonna work. Like, it's hard to get that through to somebody.
Right.
So I'd rather work with somebody that's a smart ass that's like, you know, rather they be sarcastic or just whatever, it doesn't matter. But they at least understand what's going to happen and why it needs to be done.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that is This or That with the Webmaster Joe.
Yes, sir.
He also gave the right answer on the Ponchero's question, so he's now officially my friend. Webmaster Joe, where can they find you, bro?
So on Instagram at Dawebmaster, I don't have any posts on there, but I have people following me, artists following me.
Hold on, how we spelling the Webmaster?
Dawebmaster.
Oh, you grabbed that early.
Yeah.
Like Instagram launched and you were like day 2. Let me grab this.
Yeah. The Webmaster. Same on Twitter or X, I'm the Webmaster. And then on Facebook, it's just Joseph Lujano, or you could look up Lujano Media, which is Lujano Media. I might have to switch that back to the Webmaster.
I think the Webmaster's it. Like I said, Americans
but
pretty stupid.
Mind you, again, you know, I'm in this transition of rebranding, so we'll see what sticks.
And I hope this helps, man. Like I'm very grateful not only to have you, but we have that love for Atlanta. Like whether you've said it or not, I can feel it. And that's that same love that I have and that excitement that when somebody brings up Atlanta and then the years that we get to talk about, I don't have that with a lot of people. There's 2 other people, once again, shout out to Chuck and Dom, that like lived with me through those experiences. That's literally one of the favorite times of my whole life was that year we lived in Atlanta. So you being able to relate to the people, know the artists, watch those same come ups, and you contributed to their success. Not only do I want to thank you for that, but I'm just happy for you, proud of you. It was just
appreciate it,
maybe
man.
not long ago, and I'm so happy we connected. And I hope we can create some of that magic here, like whether it's me
man.
or us helping other artists or just starting a business. We just talked about some stuff that we're gonna have to cut out of this podcast because
yes,
we're definitely on to something that really will not only help other people, but I feel like what we talked about will help change the world. And then what you've done already has had an impact on the world. The exposure you gave these artists inspired artists like myself, like other artists in Atlanta, showing that this is a mecca and a home for artists. So thank you, man.
Yeah,
Great
I appreciate it,
fucking
man. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, a lot of people, you know, I'm behind the scenes, so it's just kind of a little weird for me to be in front of the camera and stuff, but I plan on doing more stuff like that. So, you know, if you would have me on panels or whatever, you know, I'm willing to open up and talk a little bit more and explain to artists on what it is they do need to do.
Yeah.
And, you know, if they're doing something wrong or they're not implementing something, I can go ahead and point that out to them and point them in the right direction.
Yeah. And then offer services that'll help you be better. Like, I can't tell you how many times we've honestly been scammed for graphic design or other type of web design work, and you're legit. You're somebody they can sit down with. You can shake their hand. You showed me something tonight within seconds on how to make a website better that I spent the whole day making. So, you know, that type of information and the just how cool you are definitely doesn't go unnoticed on my side.
Appreciate it.
And I will make sure that anybody you work with through me appreciates what you do. So
I appreciate that.
Thank you. The Webmaster Joe, ladies and gentlemen. This is another episode of Talkin' Top Tier. I'm your host, always doing the most, Tone the Boss. Y'all know what it is. Let's get it.